Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you all for hopping aboard with the captain for another video. In this one, we have comedian, entertainer, actor, so on and so forth, Katt Williams speaking on Hollywood while on Club Shay with Shannon Sharpe. All right. And Shannon Sharpe was an ex NFL player. I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame, but he's Hall of Fame worthy. He was a great wide receiver while playing. And he has this podcast. He invited Katt Williams on, and Katt Williams followed up a host of comedians that previously were on Club Shay. Okay. And several of them spoke somewhat negatively about Katt Williams. And so this was his appearance to kind of clear the air and explain a few things, right? As it pertains to what those other comedians said about Katt. Now, I'm going to bring in a clip from this long interview, okay, like a couple hours long or so. And this interview, by the way, has racked up like I think around 45 million views since it came out. And I mean, it was only I don't know, maybe a week ago, if that. So this is just incredible. It got like 4 or 5 million views in the first 24 hours. Like it was ridiculous. But I want to bring in this clip, and it's a shorter clip. And in this one, he's talking about the rapper Ludacris, all right, and also actor Ludacris. He's been in several movies as well. But let's listen to what Cat has to say in relation to Ludacris, and then he, toward the end of this clip, mentions Kevin Hart, and let's see what he has to say. I may stop it, just to kind of cover what he said so far, but and yeah, let's go ahead and start this.
Are you related to Luda?
No, so there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us.
So just to be clear, he at Club Shannon. I almost said Club Shay. Shannon Sharp asked Cat Williams, "Is he related to Ludacris?" And so now he's explaining the the non-relation of them. But let's see what he says. I rewinded a little bit.
To an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person.
That's Ludacris. Okay, if any of y'all recall, Ludacris used to have the little sideburn thing going on. Okay, if you remember it, early 2000s, he used to have that going on, right? And he used to have like the afro, like the long hair. He used to braid it, have an afro sometimes. Like if you go back, look at his old material, like Word of Mouth album around that time. That was his look. Okay.
Person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people?
Yes.
It's part of what they give you. Okay? I didn't get it. I'm not mad about it.
How much money they give? 200.
Sir, Fast and Furious is on what number right
10.
now?
200 million. I might need to get me one of the more women look the same.
That's what they all end up saying at the end of the day.
Okay. Now to kind of explain what he's talking about when he said they gave Ludacris this light skinned woman that's whatever. All right. So in the interview, he went more in depth on that topic. And what he was saying is when you go to Hollywood and you're typically a black, so-called black male in the entertainment industry, you're doing like, you're on TV show, you're in movies or whatnot. you typically marry a woman who's light skinned. They kind of have the same look, right? When we say light skin, I think he's meaning either light skinned black woman or he means a white woman. Okay. And so he's saying you get this woman who is really like not in the industry and pretty much, if the understanding is this woman is not going to expose your dirty secrets, right? If you're a male in Hollywood, because there's all kind of things going on, all kind of parties, all type of nefarious activities happening. And so this woman will, look good on your shoulder or walking side by side with you or whatever, behind you, whatever the case. And she's not going to expose your secrets and she's not really in the industry like that. So that's kind of what he was kind of referring to when it comes to Ludacris in this situation. Now let's get to he's going to say something about Kevin Hart, and I'm going to expound upon that.
Kevin told you he wasn't going to wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay. It's all right.
With Fargo, the new virtual.
All right. So basically, he, once again, in the interview, he went more kind of in depth about the whole Kevin Hart situation. But what he was saying is Kevin Hart basically has played like female roles or, a weak male type role in movies. Okay. And he was like, he put on like basically these actors most of the time they have to put on a dress if they want to have longevity in Hollywood, or if they want to get the biggest roles, make the most money, that type of thing. It's almost like ritualistic. Like it just they you just know if you're going to be in Hollywood for a while, you're going to dress like a woman at least one time in a TV show, a movie, whatever. You're going to do it, okay? And if you look through Hollywood at all your favorite actors, okay, your favorite ones, they basically all dress like women at some point. John Candy, Patrick Swayze, Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx. I mean, you can go down the road, Kevin Hart. You can go down the line of any actor that pretty much that you could think of. Ving Rhames, like guys that you wouldn't you really wouldn't view them as being the person that would do something like that. They've done it. Okay, Terry Crews has done it. Um, man, so on and so forth, right? And that's kind of the people see it, they watch it in the movie, but they kind of like don't put two and two together a lot of times. Like people just take it as being they're just entertaining, but in reality, you're still a male, right? Or a man or whatnot, an adult male. Still, you're still that individual wearing a dress, whether you're acting or not. You're still putting the dress on. You're still putting makeup on. You're still wearing high heels. You're still parading around as a female, even if you're in a role of a female. You're still doing it in real life. You know what I'm saying? It's not a cartoon of you doing it. Like the individual is actually dressing that way. So, and he also Kevin Hart, Katt Williams spoke about other comedians, right? Even still, he went at everybody. So I mean, he not only went at you know Ludacris being a rapper, actor, but he also went at movie stars or movie sitcom um individuals, right? And then also comedians. So he mentioned names like Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Chris Tucker, and so on and so forth. Okay, and when he mentioned these people, he especially Steve Harvey, he talked about Steve as a guy who basically wanted to be the man, right? Because if y'all don't remember, Steve Harvey had he was a part of the original Kings of Comedy that released back in like '98 or whatever year that was. And it was Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, and I know D.L. Hewley joined it, but man, somebody I'm missing. But anyway, so Steve wanted to be the man. Okay, he wanted to be the man of the situation, and Cat was saying, well, Bernie Mac was clearly the best of that group. He was the best. He was the funniest guy. He had the best jokes. The crowd loved him more, and that ate at Steve, and so he kind of like undermined Bernie Mac. All right, when it came to going on tour and that type of thing, he just had animosity toward Bernie Mac. All right, this is what this is what Cat was saying. And not only did he do that to Bernie Mac and try to, outshine the other guys in that group, but when it came to Steve Harvey's show, he went into detail about mentioning Mark Curry, who was hanging with Mr. Cooper. Okay, people know him from that show, and basically Steve stole Mark Curry's jokes or whatnot, right? When doing stand up. And then it just so happened that Steve Harvey made a sitcom that looked a lot like the Mark Curry sitcom. Okay. And so he just Cat just goes on and on, just pointing out these these instances of these different people in Hollywood just doing nefarious activities, stealing jokes, stealing roles, lying about not being in certain roles or whatnot. He just shined a light, and a lot of us, a lot of us, people like me, I'm very much aware of the situation in Hollywood, but a lot of people that hadn't necessarily thought about it that deeply when they watched Katt Williams and he said what he said, it resonated more. And especially when the guys who responded to him, right, they didn't refute what he said, okay, about them doing some behind the scenes activities and you know the just the darkness of what goes on. They didn't refute that. All they said was, "Hey, man, I had to put food on the table and I had to make money and I'm trying to, have my career and this and that." It's like, but you didn't refute that there's some things that go on behind the scenes that a lot of people would find very disgusting if they knew about it. To me, that's just a telltale sign. Now, did Cat tell? Did everything that he say, was it all 100% on point? Right? I can't say everything he said. I don't necessarily agree that everything he said was just on point, but a lot of what he was talking about was true. And then the way that nobody really refuted what he said, that pretty much tells you that on that side of it, he was telling the truth about that at least, right? But he's talked about a whole lot more. Okay, a lot more people that I didn't even mention. Okay, Ricky Smiley was mentioned. Man, so on and so forth, right? Michael Jackson. Go check that interview out if you have not seen that interview with Katt Williams being on Club Shay. All right, that's Shannon Sharpe's podcast. Go check that out because especially if you're a person who's somewhat interested in what's going on in Hollywood. All right, with all the weirdness, all these parties and whatnot, and some things that's going on with other people. P Diddy and allegedly going on. If you're interested in that, man, go check out the Katt Williams interview because he goes very, very, very in depth and just lays it all out there. Wow, and he's been saying this for a while too. This is not brand new. It seemed to be new to people, but he's been saying this stuff for many years. So there's that. Anyway, let me know down below, what you think about this. Like, do you agree that Katt Williams is telling the truth? Do you think he's just, you know, as the young kids say, he's capping, right? Is he lying? Is he making it up, fabricating it? Let me know down below what you think about this. And also, if you will, hit that like, share this video with a friend, and of course, hit that subscribe. Thank y'all so much for hopping aboard and riding with me for this video. This was the Captain's Quarter Show. I was your host, L. Milliner, the Captain. Until next time, I am gone.